Let's talk to JC. JC, I do appreciate you being patient with me. Let's go ahead and have a conversation. You said you're over 18 and you did disagree with what I had on the board. Why did you disagree, and did you want to explain which policies am I talking about?
So I disagree. Mainly, one of the main policies is abortion,
Mm-hmm.
because I
Okay.
believe that it's
Mm-hmm.
not morally correct to murder a child.
All right, cool. Now because I'm on TikTok, I do have to ask you to use TikTok friendly language. I know it's gonna sound silly, but like it's because how this platform works. So instead of saying the M word, please say something like delete or unalive, things like that. It's I know it's gonna sound silly, but it's because of the platform. But when you
Okay.
say that when you think it's immoral to unalive a child. I agree. It is immoral to unalive a child, but abortions don't happen when they're children. Do you believe a fetus is the same thing? Same is a fetus the same thing as like my 6-year-old nephew?
They're both human.
Okay, so
They have distinct DNA. They are human. They are alive.
okay. I mean, this is not really
It's
giving
just
me this is not really saying that they're the same as a child, because me, when it comes to abortions, right, I give moral consideration at about 21 to 22 weeks. That's around the time I give moral consideration, because at that stage, that's when the brain has formed, the brain stem has formed. There's a conscious experience, so they're a person, that they have the conscious experience of being a person there, right? So I do agree with ending the conscious experience of somebody, right? Because that they can never get that back. It's an ultimate violation of their rights. That's when I give more consideration. Anytime before that, it's really up to the choice of the mother. And the thing is with me, I don't really get into the moral issue with abortion. I always get into like the pragmatics of it. If we want these things to decrease, let's say that you don't like abortions happening and you want them to decrease. Let's say I agree with you. I don't like that abortions have to happen and I want them to decrease. Why won't we put in policies that will cause that to decrease instead of just making it illegal in the first place and chastising women who choose to have these for their own reasons?
well, from my point of view, we already have laws against this. They're just not being applied equally.
What do you mean? Can you explain?
Laws that already apply against unaliving.
Yeah, we have laws against unaliving people, but we give like considerations on when it happens, right? Like if I'm defending myself, or if I had no choice, or if I'm unplugging grandma from the machine, we give considerations when we're unaliving people, right? So this is just one of those considerations. We don't give consideration until viability, which is around 21 to 22 weeks.
Well, if you have like a 90-year-old man
Mm-hmm.
can't take care of himself at all,
Mm-hmm.
he's not really viable to stay alive. I still believe that unaliving him would be wrong.
If he's not viable, then that means that he's on a machine and the machines are keeping him alive, right?
Yeah.
Right. So at that point, it's up to the family if that they want him to pass away or to take him off the machines and just end it all. Because at that point, if there's no brain activity, they're gone, right?
Well, my situation, my scenario, I wasn't really saying no brain activity.
Mm-hmm.
I was more saying like he's hooked up to like a breathing machine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but he's just in a coma, but there is brain activity. He can still be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, it's really up to the family. right? If there's brain activity there, but once there's no brain activity, you're legally gone. You're unalive. You're done. Yeah, I mean, but if he's on a breathing machine, there's brain activity, but something happened to his heart. I think most people will be like, oh no, just don't take him out. Of course, most people will say that. Even doctors will be like, what are you doing? We're not gonna do that. Yeah, I mean, they'll go against what you say. But like, if there's no brain activity at all, the person's gone. That's usually what we mean. Like, and that's why I say that's when I start to give more consideration around 21, 22 weeks, because then there's brain activity, then there's a person there, then there's an actual conscious experience. Before that, I really leave that up to the mother. I don't really give it more consideration. They can give it more consideration all they want. Like, I'm fine with that, right? My sister's currently pregnant right now, and she's at, I think, 3 or 4 weeks. Like, she's giving it more consideration. That's fine. You can give it more consideration. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's not really what I'm trying to say is that they what should happen is that if we want the incidence of abortions to decrease, let's put in policies for that to happen, right? Instead of making it completely illegal and taking away the right of the mother to do with her own body. Uh, what was disagreeable about that?
It, sorry, I zoned out a little bit.
No
Uh,
problem.
yeah, putting in more policies in place would be good. I believe in a total ban of it,
Mhm.
completely abolishing the act,
Okay.
making it.
Okay, if we're gonna ban abortions, are we gonna get 13-year-old kids, 13-year-old boys vasectomies when they start to be hit puberty?
No,
Why not? If we're gonna control one body, why not control the other?
because I'm not controlling one body.
You are once you ban abortions, you're controlling what a woman can do with her own body. If we're gonna do that, we might as well give 13-year-olds vasectomies, right, to control their bodies.
It's not the woman's body though that she's controlling.
No, it is. It's her body.
No, it's a fetus.
Right, right. So
The,
ending the pregnancy is what she wants to do with her body, because pregnancy is
she's
happening to her.
also violating the bodily autonomy of another human.
No, she's not violating their autonomy. They are violating her autonomy because she no longer wants that piece there. If she no longer wants the embryo, the zygote, the fetus, if she no longer wants it there, then that embryo, that fetus, that zygote, whatever at whatever point it is violating her autonomy because she no longer wants it there. She's revoking her consent
Also,
for that fetus to be there, or for that zygote to be there, or for that embryo to be there. She's revoking her consent, which she can do, right?
also, in most abortion cases, the person consented to have. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it because
Fun time. They consent to have fun time, correct? But consent to have fun time is not consent to pregnancy. Just like consent to, take a shot of Hennessy is not consent for me to, get hit by a drunk driver.
that's not really the same situation. This is an act.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming both of these people have been educated on this topic, they both know this is a risk, and they're doing this action with this risk known.
Mm-hmm. Right. Just like how me going out tonight, like if I step out my house, it's a risk I'll get hit by a truck. Does that mean I consent to get hit by a truck?
Well, the risk is a lot lower.
Not really. I live in a city, so the risk is for me to get hit by a truck is pretty high. But I do get what you mean. I don't want to be unfair. I don't want to be disingenuous. I do get what you mean, right? But like the thing is, it's still a risk. If I'm going out tonight and I walk on the street, there's a pretty good chance I could still get hit by a truck, especially considering where I live. Just like if you have fun time, there's a risk you could get pregnant if you're not careful. But the risk is not zero even if you are careful, right?
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
But like you going on the street, you have sidewalks and crosswalks to prevent getting hit.
Hmm.
Just like with fun time,
Hmm.
there's birth control and balloons.
To not have it happen, but it's not zero. Just like how walking on the sidewalk, I could still get hit. You know what I mean? Because person could be drunk. So this is what I mean. If we just take risk into consideration, like I get what you mean, right? There's risk if you have fun time, even if you are careful, you can end up pregnant. But just like there's a risk if I walk outside, I could still get hit by a truck, even if I walk on the sidewalk, even doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You see what I'm saying? So there's a risk in all these things. As that's why I don't really take, because there was a risk, you consented to have it happen. I don't really agree with that, because it's like, if we're gonna go with that, if you go to the beach today, did you consent to drown? No. Yeah, I mean that'll be kind of silly.
Yeah, but I'm a Christian,
Mm-hmm.
so I believe all humans are made in God's image.
Mm-hmm.
Every human has the right to life, even if we're not being religious.
Mm-hmm.
The things this country were built upon, the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, I mean, I have no issue with that, right? Like, I'm not a believer. I'm an atheist, so it's like I don't think there really is a God out there. But if that's what you choose to believe and you think all life is precious, that's fine. Um I'm not gonna say that you're not supposed to believe or anything like that. You're raised the way that you're raised, like, and you could believe that. But at the end of the day, if you and your wife and your family believes that, right, then that's cool. But that, I don't think that belief should be beholden to all of society, because not everybody believes what you believe. There's even a lot of Christians who don't really believe the way you believe when it comes to abortion. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, we can't make that the standpoint of all of our society. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean. But was there any other policy that you disagree with when it comes to on the left?
uh, transgenderism, like
Transgenderism.
allowing men
Mhm.
and women spaces.
Uh, allowing men in women's spaces. What do you mean? Like when what yeah, what do you mean?
Like sports,
Hmm.
bathrooms,
Hmm.
locker rooms, all that kind of stuff.
All right, cool. So when it comes to transgender issues, right? Honestly, I'm not very well versed in it. You should probably talk to someone who's probably more well versed in it. But with me, I'm kind of libertarian on it. I'm a live and let live person. Of course, we're all concerned about safety, but what I will always say is that people who are transgender, they exist, right? This is not something that they're just pretending, or they have some sort of mental health problem. They exist. They're transgender. This is how they identify. uh shouldn't we as a society uh attempt to not just accommodate, but accept these people as much as possible in order for them to live happy and healthy lives?
Well, I believe they do have a mental issue.
Hmm.
Gender dysphoria is a recognized mental issue
Yeah, gender
that,
dysphoria, but you can be non-trans and have gender dysphoria. Like, for example, I had gender dysphoria for a while. Well, I'm kind of self-diagnosing, but I know I had gender dysphoria for a while because I didn't like my height. Because all my entire life, people telling me being short, I'm less of a man, right? So I kind of had gender dysphoria because I had issues with my height. You see what I'm saying? So you can be um non-trans and still have gender dysphoria, right?
yeah,
Right, right. So
I just believe that when people have that and they're getting pandered to,
mhm.
like people are like all these situations where it's like a 4-year-old kid and they like say, I'm a girl one day. And their parents are just like, yeah, you're a girl. And just feed the issue.
Mhm.
Because, like, little kids play pretend all the time. and
Mm-hmm.
it's just getting like ingrained into their brain.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically just indoctrinating the child.
Right. So when it comes to that, right? Yeah, sure. Children pretend, but if a child, let's call him Timmy, goes to his parents and say, "I'm not Timmy, I'm Samantha." Yeah, sure. In one day, maybe even one day and a half, he's gonna be like, "I'm Samantha, I'm Samantha," and the next day he's gonna say, "Now I'm Batman." Sure, that's going to happen, right? Because kids like to pretend. But if he says on Monday, "I'm Samantha," on Tuesday, "I'm Samantha," in a month, "I'm Samantha," in 3 months, "I'm Samantha," that's more than him just that's more than him or her just pretending, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So when it comes to children who are transgender, people just don't say, oh, okay, whatever, live and let live. They actually go to psychiatrists, to psychologists, to therapists, and they talk about it. They see where if they're just pretending or if this is an actual thing. Now, children are very bad liars. They're not just gonna say I'm Samantha for 6 months in a row. It's gonna be more than that. And for everything that we've seen, all the research that we've seen when it comes to brain scanning images, when it comes to psychological and psychiatric studies, being transgender is an actual disposition. It's not just something that they're pretending to do. It's not like a whole mental illness. Gender dysphoria is, a mental problem, but that can happen to anyone, not just trans people. So it's not really them just pretending to be something else. I'm gonna ask you on one question though. All right, give me 1 second, JC. Hey, Trill, can you test the mic for me 1 second?
Okay, can I do what?
Can you say mic test 1 2 1 2 for me?
Mic test 1 2 1 2.
Uh, JC, did you hear Trill?
No.
He can't. They can't hear TikTok. I don't know why. They cannot hear TikTok. All right. Tahir, can you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear him.
All right. JC, did you hear Tahir?
No.
Nah. Damn. They can't hear the they can't hear TikTok. That sucks, man. I thought they would be able to hear it. Hold on, give me a second. Give me 1 second. Let me take a look at something. Look at audio settings. Yeah, the audio settings are here, but they can't hear it. That sucks. Give me one. Let me take a look at this. All right, so here, say mic check for me real quick.
Mic check, mic check.
Me?
Nah, they can't
Oh.
hear it. They can hear he can hear me, but for some reason he can't hear y'all. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. Sorry about that, guys. I know we want to have a back and forth conversation with him, but he can hear me, but he can't hear y'all. I'm gonna have to figure out why that is and if I can get that fixed. I do have people on my TikTok, JC, who want to speak with you, but unfortunately, you can't hear them, so it wouldn't be able to be a back and forth conversation, unfortunately. But
But honestly, though, you were killing it. I was like, I had some of these points that I kind of wanted to press, and you were hitting them. So I'm like, all right, then, Volsy, you got
Yeah,
this.
that is unfortunate.
yeah. Sorry, she was just talking to me real quick. Yeah. It's unfortunate that you can't hear them, but we can go ahead and keep it rolling. But yeah, when it comes to a trans issue, I hope you know I hope you see where I'm coming from. Where I think we should build our society more for them to have healthy and happy lives and accept them for who they are, than just putting them on the outskirts of society and calling them perverts and stuff like that.
Which one of the big things for me is like when they're in like women's sports.
Mhm.
Like when a biological man is participating in women's sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. Well, here's one thing. But man is more of a socially constructed thing. So you think about like a male, right? Like a male participating in female sports. Yeah. When it's excuse me. Sorry about that. When those are concerns, right? And I don't think anybody denies that this can be a concern because on average, males are stronger than females. That's just on average, right? However, when it comes to because number one, I think this should be decided by the sports medicine people, by people who research sports and things like that. Those are the people who should be deciding this. But as far as the information that we have, We don't have a lot of it. We still have a little bit of information, but from the little information that we have, we see that when a transgender person going from male to female, when they take as much, when they do the hormone therapies, when they're trying to do their transition, the rates of that equal out. And a good example of this is Leah Thomas, the one who was the swimmer who basically caused all this issue. Uh, she got in fifth place in the competition that she was in. So that means that what you would call natural born women actually beat her. You see what I'm saying? So her being born male didn't change anything because she went through the hormone therapy, she went through all of the transitions, and it equaled out to the point where people who are what we would say natural born beat her. You see what I'm saying? And they have been beating her. Like, she's not the number one swimmer out there right now. She's like number 150 or something like that. The number one swimmer is a cisgender woman, a woman who's naturally born, as much as far as you would say. You see what I'm saying? So it's from the information that we have, uh transgender women are not just gonna take over all the sports. You see what I'm saying? Like all of the news headlines you see of, oh, a man pretended to be a woman and beat everybody and hit the records and all those stuff. All those are a lot of those are sensationalized. It's usually not what happened in real life. You feel me?
Well, specifically with people like Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas, he has multiple women's swimming records. He's broken multiple records.
So if that's the case, why isn't Leah Thomas the number one swimmer? Why is it a cisgender woman?
Some women are above the standards of men.
Right. So, but the thing is, if Leah Thomas broke all these records, et cetera, wouldn't Leah Thomas be one of the top swimmers in the country? They're not. Like, Leah Thomas is
It
not.
doesn't change the fact that they did break multiple records.
I'm doubting that, because if they broke multiple records, they'll be one of the top swimmers in the country, and Leah Thomas is not. Matter of fact, hold on. We don't even have to go back and forth. Give me a second. Okay. All right. So let's see. Leah Thomas broke several University of Pennsylvania and Ivy League swimming records in freestyle events, but she did not break any NCAA or national records at the 2022 NCAA championships, where she won the 500-yard freestyle title. Her NCAA win made history as the first D1 title by an openly transgender athlete, but her times were significantly slower than existing national records, notably Katie Ledecky's 500 freestyle record. So yeah, she broke some Penn State records, but not anything national or NCAA. Like, she's still way below them.
There's also the thing of many people from the, what is it, Penn State
Mhm.
or University of Pennsylvania. Many biological women from that team
Mhm.
have stated that they felt very uncomfortable
Mhm.
having him in their locker rooms.
Understandable. I'm also uncomfortable having women in my locker room. Like, I get it. Like, it's a stranger in a locker room, so they're uncomfortable because, like, Leah Thomas still has like the dingalang. Is that the issue?
Yeah, yeah, that's the main issue that most of these people have.
Yeah, sure. Like, I get it. They're gonna be uncomfortable. Like, a lot of people used to be uncomfortable with me being in a locker room with a white person. So, like, there's not really a lot we can do about it.
Yeah, but I still think like it's not really there. There's also the case of, I can't remember the name. It was like, I think it was some sort of weightlifting competition, and a man, or
Pretended to be a woman, and
someone,
I heard about that as well. Like, yeah, these so like for here's what I would say. People do have to be careful, right? Like, I shouldn't be able to just go to some a track meet and say I identify as a woman now and run against the females there, right? Like, that's, of course that would be unfair because they don't know if I'm telling the truth. You have to be careful about that. So I think everybody agrees with that, right? I'll just always say this is something that has to be up to the sports field, the sports uh not field, yeah, field, it has to be within that field, sports medicine, sports anatomy, things like that. It has to be up to that field for them to decide how to deal with this. And of course I agree that people should be careful. No Tom, Dick, and Harry off the street should say I identify as a woman now, put me in your shot put competition and beat out all the females there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure, like I could agree with that. But if they go through all the trials and tribulations, and if they the sports basically Congress decides that, yeah, transgender females can compete against cisgender females and it be fair, like, this should be decided by the scientists, right? Like, why would we debate about it? Like, I don't know sports medicine. Do you know sports medicine?
I'm not versed in sports medicine very well. No.
Right. So none of us know about it. So let's let the people who know sports medicine decide on how to handle this. That sound fair?
Yeah, I just know men are naturally stronger than women.
Mm-hmm.
There's other reasons Leah Thomas could have lost those things. He's 6'1", and which is tall.
Yeah,
Most,
bro. Angel Reese is 6'3". So it's like, yeah,
Can I ask you a
there's
question,
there's
please?
Well,
tall
but-
women out there.
well, but
Carlos,
the
can I ask you a
average
question?
height for a female is like 5'2", I think.
Yeah, that's the average height. Yeah, there are tall women out there, bro. Like, hold on. Someone in my TikTok had a question for you. Go ahead, Trill. What was your question?
My question is, what is his stance on I'm sorry, I'm sorry, on regulations? Because it sounds like, basically he wants regulations on private organizations used as conservative policy or idea. So I want to know, like, basically, like, is he okay with regulations in general for private organizations, I guess?
Gotcha.
Or what
All
his
right, so
stance is. I'm sorry.
gotcha. All right. So, JC, what Trill wanted to ask you is what your stance is on regulations, because when it comes to this transgender issue, you seem to want to have regulations over that. But how about regulations on anything else when it comes to environment, financials, things like that? Are you comfortable with regulations on those companies and institutions as well when it comes to those issues?
Like, just in general,
Yes, in general.
if a regulation is beneficial
Mm-hmm.
for a company,
Mm-hmm.
they should be allowed to do it.
All right. So when I'm talking about with regulations, I mean stuff like, for example, you know how rivers used to set on fire because companies were dumping toxic waste into the river, right? Now we have a regulation that they can't do that, or they'll get fined, or even possibly face some jail time when they caught somebody doing it. So those are regulations that cut into their profits, but it protects people. Are you comfortable with those other regulations?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you also want like the sports world to also have regulations against transgender people, for them to like not play, like, for example, the WNBA shouldn't take any transgender women. Those transgender women should go to the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's gonna work out because again, when as far as the information we have now, uh, transgender athletes, female to male, transgender women athletes, female to male, they're on par with the female athletes who are not transgender. Now we do have it is limited. I'll give you that, right? It's limited studies, but shouldn't we be exploring more research, more studies to see exactly how this phenomenon works out instead of trying to limit it?
Sure. I guess we should do more studies.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do more research because right now that's what the research is telling us. So, but as far as them existing as a transgender person, you don't think that we should accept them either?
Yeah, I believe it's delusion.
Right. But all psychological and psychiatric research show that this is not a delusion. Do you think we
I
should do more research to see if it is? Because we've actually have like a long history of transgender people existing, even from the Middle Ages. So it's like we have evidence of them existing, right? So, like for example, the Native Americans used to call them two-spirited people. Over in India, there's also I forgot what the word they use over in India for it, but transgender people exist there as well. So this has always been kind of a thing, right? So we know transgenderism has existed throughout human society, so it does exist. Do you think like this phenomena is just them being delusional, like schizophrenia? Because schizophrenia has also existed throughout all of human history, but we know that it's harmful because of the delusions that they face. But as far as transgender people know, they're just incongruent with the sex they were born in. So is that do you think that's going to cause harm to society when it's always been part of society? They're not going to hurt anybody. So
Well, most of the ancient examples that a lot of the examples people use, those people didn't actually identify as a separate gender.
like live as women. Yeah, the ones that I'm talking about in India, they were like Indian eunuchs. They actually did identify as women. Yeah, I mean now a lot of those eunuchs didn't actually, get it cut off. That didn't happen in those eunuchs, but they did actually live as women, identify as women. That was a thing. They did it.
Well, you also have situations in like the Middle East where kings would have concubines who were
Hmm.
biologically male.
Hmm. Right. That is something that happened, and some of them lived as women. Like this, like what I'm trying to say is that being transgender has existed throughout all of human history, right? We have records of this in ancient times, and they lived as the gender that they identified with. Yeah, I mean, so this one has been a thing within history. So if there's been a thing within history, it's not something like schizophrenia where they have potential to harm themselves or others. So why would we call it a delusion or try to basically like I guess minimize it? I don't know, because when we don't accept them, they tend to self-harm, right? And we don't want people to harm themselves.
Well, actually, there's data that suggests more people off themselves after getting like the surgeries and stuff.
There's no studies that show that.
There's many Sweden has been doing this a lot longer than the US has, and they have many studies showing that the suicide rate or offing themselves rate goes up after being affirmed.
No, what those Swedish studies show is that the 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 offing themselves like mentality rate, it goes up when people don't accept them. When they affirm themselves and then the people around them don't accept them, that's when that's when it goes up. But if the people around them do accept them, the mentality goes down. Now these are like limited studies, right? We don't have a lot. we should be researching this a lot more. But what's going on in America is that we just don't want it to be researched at all, which is a mistake in my opinion. Would you agree that we should at least be researching this more instead of researching it less?
Sorry, I was getting data real quick. What did you say?
Yeah, I
Repeat
was
that real
saying
quick.
shouldn't be researching this more than less, because as far as I know with that Swedish study, and like again, these are not a lot that we have. With that Swedish study, it showed that when people don't accept them after they affirm themselves, that's when the mindset of offering themselves goes up. But if they do get a community who accepts them, then it tends to go down. You see what I'm saying? So, but there's not a lot of research that we have. So doesn't that mean we should be researching it more instead of just trying to push it out of society?
We should study it more,
Right,
but
right. My bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm on a website right now. No, there is no evidence suggesting that gender affirming surgeries improve mental health.
All right. What do I look up?
The fewer mental services were utilized by patients with a. Sorry, I'm just reading out loud.
Yeah. What do I actually look up?
This is on the Society for Evidence-Based Gender Medicine, and the title of the article is wait. Sorry.
Oh, the Society for Evidence-Based Gender Medicine. That's an
Yeah.
anti-trans organization, bro. Shouldn't you we actually look for look for what the study says, like a non-biased source, because this is a objectively anti-trans organization. So we should look for something that's unbiased, right?
What is your source suggesting that
What they've
it
actually said, they're known for like misinformation. Like there's multiple articles and news stories about them being known for misinformation. Like the first thing when you look them up, the first thing that you find is that they're an anti-trans organization.
what's the source saying that though?
Let's see. There's the Journal of Science-Based Medicine, um, Social Science and Medicine. Let's see, the Southern Poverty Law Center. The Southern Poverty Law Center actually looks up bigoted organizations. Um, and there's the Journal of Law and Medicine. They've all pointed out that they've put out like transgender health information, misinformation. They're an anti-trans organization. So we should kind
Well,
of look for an
now I'm
unbiased
on
source.
the journals.plos.org, which is a scientific journal,
Mm-hmm.
and this is
Right. What's
this
the name of it?
appears to be the original study.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
Long-term follow-up of transsexual persons undergoing sex reassignment surgery, cohort study in Sweden.
Okay. Yeah. So the basically the Swedish study.
Yes, which Sweden is more likely to have reliable studies because they have transitioned people more than the United States has in earlier.
Okay. Cool.
Than the United States started.
All right. Cool. Give me a second. All right. And this is the one that was published in February 22nd, 2011.
So the one I'm on, the journal that's showing mine, I don't. Oh wait, I see it now. Yes, it says published February 22nd, 2011.
Yeah. So when like this is a long thing, right? And we should read it because I do see what you're saying in the conclusions. They're saying people who are transgender after reassignment have high risk of mortality, suicidal behavior, things like that than the general population. So yeah, I do get what you're saying there, but when we actually read the study, do they go into why that happens? Because the author of the study, Dr. Dinjay, she said this, right? There's a quote from her. She said, people who misuse the study always omit the fact that the study clearly states that it is not an evaluation of gender dysphoria treatment. If we look at the literature, we find that several recent studies conclude that standards of care compliant with treatment decrease gender dysphoria and improve mental health. So she's not there. It's not really saying like we got to find out why they're saying what they're saying. Like, what does the study actually say? Is it just them getting reassigned themselves, or is it about the community that they're part of, things like that?
But when you look at the conclusions of it says persons with transsexualism after sex reassignment have considerably higher risk of mortality, offing themselves behavior, or psychiatric morbidity than the general population. Our findings suggest that sex reassignment, although alleviating gender dysphoria, does not suffice as a treatment for transsexualism.
Right. You have to have more. It's not just sexual reassignment surgery. So they're not saying that after all of them get reassigned, they're gonna have higher rates and that's it, right? They're saying gender affirming care, sex reassignment surgery is not the only thing that you need. You need more.
Well, there's also what I've seen. There's cases of the doctors trying, and these are younger kids. The doctors are like, if you do not, to the parents, if you do not do this, your child will die.
Ain't no doctor saying that, bro.
Well, not. They're saying like they have a high risk of offing themselves. There
if they
are
don't
multiple
get surgery immediately.
Well, this isn't for the surgery. These are minors. Usually, it's just the hormone blockers.
Yeah, gender affirming care. Now, the thing is, when it comes to that, right, they're always going to go through some sort of psychiatric evaluation before that happens. There's not going to just toss it out to them, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. All right, JC, we've been on for at least 30 minutes now, and I do really appreciate you, but I gotta go ahead and move on. But call in any time, and we'll talk more. All right.
Okay.
I appreciate you, JC. Have a good night. All right, guys. I'm gonna figure out how we can have TikTok and the phone calls listen to each other, because it sucks that they can hear y'all. I mean, that y'all can hear them, but they can't hear y'all. That sucks.